I couldn't be in one in a room. I'll get so lonely. I couldn't be in one in a room because I can't cook. I don't want to be alone in a room. Please, who asked your opinion? Sometimes just shut up. Hi lovely people, today's video is to share my experience of how my one in a room was for me. Is it really as depressing as everybody thinks it is? 2023, I was in 3 in a room, and then the next year, which is this year, I moved to 1 in a room. This is not the whole experience of being in 1 in a room. There are lots of things that I've probably forgotten. There are lots of things that I didn't really take note of. But these are the few things I took note of. So if you're planning on going to 1 in a room or you're trying to get your own place, this is just like a guide for you to know how it would be like, because this is how it was for me personally. Back to the question, why did I make such a decision? I'm getting something for a certain amount of money. But if I decide to compromise my comfortability, a room with 3, 2, 4 people, and then I don't get to study when I want because the place is too loud, I don't get to sleep comfortably how I want because the lights are still on, then it means that I'm experiencing a very, very like uncomfortable space. And then me deciding to go for like that amount of that kind of room space isn't benefiting me. So I'm not buying comfortability, I'm just buying a space to sleep in, and the sleep is not comfortable sleep. I remember when I was in 3 in a room and my course was getting a bit difficult for me. I would come to my hostel, like I'll get to my room and then I'll just go to the bathroom straight and then go and cry. When we completed like first year, my friend was telling me that, oh, she used to hear me cry all that time. They both used to hear me cry all that time.
Oh, wow. I cry for my people.
Every time I would come out, they would have to pretend like they didn't hear me crying. Everybody gets good roommates. Whenever they like heard me cry, they'll let me cool down a bit. And that night, I'm telling you, they'll make sure I laugh. This time I could be myself, cry in my room, become depressed for as much as I would want to. The fact that I could be me and not have to tiptoe around people's comfortability, because you are sharing a room with people, you have to make sure that, me personally, I believe in making sure that everybody is comfortable in a room. I truly do believe. At least you not get your full comfortability, but like there are some simple things or some basic things you're supposed to do. Let that sit in your brain.
The misconception.
I couldn't be in 1 in a room. I'll get so lonely. I couldn't be in 1 in a room because I can't cook. I don't want to be alone in a room. Please, who asked your opinion?
I don't know.
Is something written on this my big forehead? I'm curious of what you think. I care about your opinion because honestly, I didn't think I was getting annoyed all that time, but I was getting annoyed, especially when somebody come and visit you and be like, "The one in your room, yeah, I couldn't. You're always so alone and lonely, and it'll be so boring." Kiniko, my brother, why, when you're in that your 2 in a room, 3 in a room with a stranger you're not talking to, isn't it equivalent to being alone? Did I not think before I decided to go to 1 in a room? Just like you thought before you decided to go to 2 in a room, 3 in a room, 4 in a room. I know people are trying to create conversation, but sometimes just shut up.
Shut up, you!
People are always saying that 1 in a room is expensive. But let me tell you the truth. It's actually not. It depends on the luxury that you want. Some people can get 1 in a room at 6,000. And for what I know, people are paying 8,000 plus for just 2 in a room. So it depends on the luxury that you want. You can just buy a simple place and then pimp it up to be whatever you want, to have that aesthetic that you want to have. And how you personally manage yourself, that's when 1 in a room will become either cheap or expensive for you. The lifestyle and the luxury, that's what makes a place expensive. If you choose to live a simple life, trust me, being in 1 in a room will be very, very cheap for you. But if you choose to be luxurious and have a certain lifestyle, honey, you'll be spending a lot of money. First thing that everybody knows is you are accountable only to you and you alone. That is, if you are going to study, honey, you're going to study. Somebody who is focused in school would learn in one name. You don't need somebody to learn before you learn. You don't need to see somebody studying before you feel the pressure to study. The thing is, if you have a goal, trust me, you will take a book and you will learn. Tell me why you go to the library, take a phone, you'll be scrolling on the phone. Like, explain to me why. Isn't the library full of people? I personally enjoyed my accountability. I get to have that clear mind, or not compromise. I know I was getting a bit too serious. Let me relax. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, I was very happy that I could do things at my own pace. Oh yes, this is very exciting for me to share. I actually learned how to cook. I became self-competent. Like, learning how to cook is as easy as taking your phone, calling mommy, how do we prepare this stew? And my mom would give me a tutorial how to prepare this stew. I matured as a person. To be honest, I matured as a person. I learned how to clean, cook. I learned how to do a lot of things. And then as a person in general, emotionally, I also worked on my emotions a lot. And then I became more of a calm person than somebody who would like react to things. You know, the wisdom was coming in. I became an adult. Anyways, I was missing the adult experiences, but I still became an adult child. My family became my friends. My mom would have a sleepover. African children and African parents, we barely hug, we barely kiss, we barely show that physical affection towards each other. But I started to hug my mom. I started to kiss my mom on the cheek. I started to like jump when I see my mom. It's that type of, relation and that kind of happiness that always came with just seeing my family members. And I really, really appreciate it, because I don't think it was never like that when I had people around me. I started calling my friends. I would never, not like it was like an ego thing of mine, but like why should I? But I started calling my friends. Like, I would actually take my phone, call my friend, and be like, hey, I'm just checking up on you. Really, I'm happy about that thing. Just, I became closer to God, I would say, because literally, who are you going to talk to? I was talking to God. Most of the he was my best buddy. I'm not saying that, oh, you can't have that same experience when you're with people, but I guess it's, for me, it's the quiet times that I used to have, spare time. Because when people are around you, obviously you have conversations, you have to talk to people. But this is the case where people were not around. Who was I going to talk to about God? Who? I became more of an introvert. You are just okay. You just become okay and so content with being alone that you would rather not talk to people. For me, because a lot of people that I've spoken to who are in one room, they're like, oh, they tend to speak a lot. For me, I became more of an introvert than an extrovert. Quiet times made me realize the things that I wanted to spend my time on. That talking about somebody's life wasn't really it for me, so I'd rather just sit there and mind my own business and be having quiet times as I'm in the midst of people. Among the nation, we salute you. I guess that's the negative side of being okay alone. Moving on, what I want to say is, yes, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I get lonely. But one thing I also noticed is that you can be in four in a room, you can be in three in a room with strangers, and you will still feel lonely. Loneliness comes when the emotions that you're trying to see from another human being is not being met. And trust me, being in a room with strangers, you're not going to get those emotions met. People always equate being alone to being lonely. And that is one thing I want to clear. Please, some of us, we actually enjoy ourselves. Some of us are actually okay with just watching movies, talking to some friends, taking a walk, eating a fruit. People will not enjoy the things that you enjoy in life. What you're comfortable with is not what I am comfortable with. But I'm not going to lie. Obviously, sometimes emotions run high, hormones get released too much, and then I become a bit lonely, first place. Yes! Yes! Mommy, I'm making a YouTube video! Damn. What was I even saying? Loneliness. Yes. I don't know how you people are feeling lonely, but I wasn't really feeling lonely. I would feel lonely sometimes because everybody feels lonely at some point in your life. You can't say that every day you be happy and yippity yappity. But what I'm trying to say is it's just like that you can invite anybody to spend any amount of time. And not feel weird. I'm sorry, oh. Me personally, I wasn't doing anything.
Why are you
Like, my friends used to come around. That's how I'm going to say. People, but the people like who want to do their things, like, you know, I mean,
The advice.
in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, I enjoy being in a room, but I don't think everybody has that kind of experience when they are living alone, because everybody's life path is different. Would I advise you to go to one in a room?
Hell no.
I wouldn't advise you to go to one in a room. I would advise you to go to a room that you can afford, first of all, because that's the most important thing. You feel comfortable in, and you feel like that's what you genuinely want. You want to have a room with your friend. Get the room with your friend. Yeah, there are downsides. There are downsides of having being in a room with your friends, but there are also upsides of being in a room with your friend. Every room you're going to get, 4 in a room, 6 in a room, 2 in a room, has its advantages and its disadvantages. Going into a room with a friend, going into a room with a stranger, going into a room alone has its disadvantages and advantages. I'm not going to deny or dispute the fact that there are downsides to everything. There were downsides, and if you want to know my downsides, comment down to be okay. Tell me if you can. Like I said, I'm getting too serious. Comment down below and let me and ask whatever question you wish to ask. I will gladly answer you. Yeah, this is just my experience, and this is just to correct some of the misconception that people have about being by yourself. People scare people out of good decisions, and people scare people out of bad decisions. So it depends on how your life is supposed to be. That's what will determine whether a decision is good or bad. Basically, if you want to do it, do it. If you want to get the one in a room, get the one in a room. It doesn't have to be me. My father wasn't the one who paid for my full one in a room. I paid for some, my father paid for some, because of the luxury that I supposedly wanted. So it really does depend on you. School is already stressful enough for you to go to like your supposed resting place, and then that resting place is killing you from inside out. Please and please, if you enjoy this video, do us a like, share, and subscribe. I know that sometimes I just say the like, share, and subscribe. It sounds like I'm singing a song, I'm singing a tune, but I really do need you to like, share, and subscribe. I'll do well to serve you in my comment section. Thank you and have a great day or night, whatever time you're watching this. Bye.